right, you bunch of yahoos, strap yourselves in for another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity.
In other words, shut up, sit up, and pay attention. And welcome back to another episode of Toxic Masculinity, where we are here to entertain, offend, defend anybody and anyone that we care to. I mean, so it's still here in the United States. You have the right and freedom to either watch us or not. That's your decision here. Right now, I've got my cohort in crime, the one, the only mustachioed Don, the Predator Frye, and yours truly, Dan, the Severn. We have a special guest this evening, all the way from Russia. We'll find out exactly where, but we have Oleg Taktarov. He's a fighter. He's got a submission grappling background, a judo background. He's got a mixed martial arts background. And more recent time, basically an actor in quite a few different films. So we're simply we're actually honored and pleased that he has joined us. It's actually very early in his part of the world where we're at, and we'll get through this as we commence in this topsy-turvy episode of Toxic Masculinity. I really need to lay off the caffeine this late at night, don't I?
That's a mouthful. Jeez.
Watch out. gotta get some more. Gotta get juiced up here. Yeah.
Healthy stuff for you guys because it's awful to. It's painful to watch what you guys doing. Cigar, weed. What else? To keep yourself going.
Well, let's establish that right now. Okay, Oleg, what part of Russia are you in as we speak to you now?
I'm home. First time in 55 years. I mean, for past 2 years, 3 years, I've been able to stay home more than I stay outside of a country or a city. It's basically first time in my life since I left my home. I mean,
so really? I mean, well, first off, I mean, do you mind? Where is home? What part of Russia are we talking about?
Well, it's a central part. It's one night on a train from Moscow. I used to call it Arzamat 16. When I was at UFC, they call it Arzamat 16. Now it's called Sarov, Russia. So they changed the name to the previous one, to old one. So it's a historical city. I wish I would show you, but it's surrounded with a fence. So Americans can go there. Here, I mean. And it's a beautiful place, just, created for scientists and a special kind of scientists. So that's the reason why we're surrounded with a fence.
And you say this has been like this? It's been like this
since 1947. It's a sister city of Los Alamos, if you ever heard of. Los Alamos was a place where the nuclear bomb was created, where all the nuclear scientists being kind of put together so they could think and create something incredible. So this is a sister city, similar, like a Russian Los Alamos.
Now, is this where you grew up? I mean, is this where your parents lived and stuff like that? So this is where you grew up?
Yeah. I mean, it's the reason why I want to be nuclear scientist when I was young. When I was at school, so I never thought I would be doing MMA or film business. I've been dreaming about
being a nerd. You want to be a nerd, huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
You wanted to be a nerd, right?
Yeah, I want to be a nerd, exactly. That's what I want to be.
Well, I don't
think you were physically fit to be a nerd.
Well, what about well, for example, your parents, did your parents, were your mother, your father, were they involved in nuclear science or in any of that type of industry?
My grandfather worked with, if you remember, academic Andrei Sakharov. It was he actually got the prize for peace. Like he was, he was awarded for certain world peace something, but
like a Nobel Peace Prize or something like that.
Something like that, Nobel Peace Prize. But I mean, originally, of course, he was a nuclear scientist, and he created the most powerful bomb actually prior to this peace work. And
well, well,
you
even
can
one of our
check on the
former
internet.
even one of our former presidents, Teddy Roosevelt, one of his famous mottos was "Speak softly, but wield a big stick," so that don't take his kind gestures and stuff like that. There's always still there's sort of a fierceness about people. So
don't mistake kindness for weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go, Dad.
that's
You're
what's more familiar to everyone.
Yeah, that's what most people do. If you're fucking nice and polite, put up with their bullshit, they think you're weak, and then eventually you got to put the boots to them, and then they sue you.
It's the story of my life.
Uh-huh.
All over the place.
Okay, so Oleg,
Trying to be nice.
you grew up in this historical place. Do you have any other brothers or sisters?
I have, but they live in different places. It's just my
Okay.
family, they moved there too much around. So
right,
at
I
the
mean-
moment,
I mean-
I got cats, and actually my older son is visiting me right now with his wife.
How
I
old
got
is
3
he?
boys, and the older one got married finally.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to make me a granddad yet, but we'll see. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
You're working on it. Showing pictures.
Well, what I mean, do you have any older brothers or sisters, younger brothers?
I have sisters, of course. I
Okay.
have sister. Yeah, she lives with her mother. It's about 4 hours. You gotta drive. I know. Dan is familiar with the Russia. Like I'm in Nizhny Novgorod state, Gorky, and my mother is in a place called Penza. Maybe you heard of. I don't know. Your wrestling days when you were young usually would go where? Moscow, St. Petersburg. Where else?
To
Where would
Tbilisi,
wrestling?
to I tell you what, your Novosibirsk,
Novosibirsk. Well, yes.
yeah,
Krasnoyarsk, probably. Yeah,
I-
Siberia, Ural Mountains.
yeah, you're going way back for me right now. So it's like going, I gotta pull out the dust off the old memory bank here a little bit. But no, I just the one thing that I simply had a great deal of respect for the Russian competitors, because technique wise, wow, they just that phenomenal technique. So that's where even before going up against you in mixed martial arts stuff like that, I simply knew that, wow, I've got a Russian from you from well, I think they said you're from Gorky Park at that point in time, and you're basically undefeated at that point. I think, well, I've got a tall order out there, because I just know the mentality of the Russians. They just have there's a great deal of pride. They're athletes. They do a great deal of training. Their technique is superb. So yeah.
And the country is big. Of course, we have different nationalities all over the place. Like in United States, everything mixed up together. You can find some communities, but normally it's all mixed up. Here, you go to South, you get Dagestan people or Chechnya people. They have different mentality, different wrestling style, mountain training. You go in Siberia, it's like pure Russian soul, you would say. Yeah, Ural Mountains a little bit different. Moscow, St. Petersburg, completely different. Belarus, I mean, those people I could never understand. It's basically a small republic, and they were real Slavic people. In fact, I mean, if you want to look at what originally Slavic people look like, it's Belarus, Minsk. I've been there just a couple of weeks ago. I have no clue. I mean, they got a result in every single sport. Amazing. How they do that, I have no idea.
Well, you got tough people in Russia. We got a bunch of pussies running around here, Shit, it's embarrassing.
American Russians very similar country. I mean, first thing when people were asking me like, how was America? I say, you know what? You guys be surprised. Two countries in the world, they identical.
Yeah.
Russia, I mean, Soviet Union and at the time and United States, like the mentality, the people, the habits, everything is just so similar. Like Europe is different, you know, Africa, Asia, of course, different. You know, those smaller countries are different. Mexico, South America, but Russia and United States, it was just so easy for me to adapt myself. I mean, there, because
like you
everything
said,
is so
hybrid.
similar.
They're hybrid, yeah, you know. And everybody mixed with everybody else. They called it a melting pot, and it was a melting pot. And now everybody's trying to screw that up because they all want to complain and be different and be accepted for this and that. And but you know, too late for that, people. Too late, you know.
Complaining is
Yeah.
a Russian favorite habit. Yes, so complaining is a Russian.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm saying very similar.
No, at least in the Japanese, you know, they say they suffer in silence, you know, so they accept their suffering, you know, they don't complain about anything.
Yeah, you accept the love with it. That's like it's like a religion for them, you know. You have suffering, no life without suffering. Yeah,
right.
my mid-son, just think about it. He's a half Russian, core Spanish, and another core is a black and Cherokee Indian. He joined army, by the way. He's in a training center right now. I haven't been talking to him for 2 or 3 months. So that's what, you know, that's what that's what happens when you come to the United States and stay alone for a while.
Yeah, you mix up blood.
Yeah, I got 2 kids. One is a pure Russian because his mother is Russian. And the one is, like I said, you know, and I got the one sleeping upstairs. That's another Russian, but 3 sons, but you know, they look alike. Except the young one, the smart one, he got a good education.
Yeah.
This is lazy one up there. He's in the movie business, just like me.
Well, you know, somebody's got to have the easy life while the others suffer.
Yeah, but are you really showing them the ropes? Because I mean, you've experienced so much in that film industry. I mean, you should. I mean, are you helping them along with this career?
I'm trying not to. If I do help, I make it look like it just happens. Okay. Like I will call to a producer or somebody else. Hey, help this guy. It's my son, but don't tell him. You know, just. I never tell them that I've been involved in a certain success they had.
Right.
You know, generally what you do, you just send money, you know, like my young son is the best one to get the money out from my pocket. I mean, it's, Dad, everything is fine, but it'll be so much better if you just send, you know, a couple of grand because I need to pay for this, for that. And but I'm going to be making so much money. I got a great job and I'm the best student in college. And he loves to hear. He knows I love to hear. I'm in a Jewish class, but I'm not Jewish. But I'm the best in the class of the best grade of the best. I say, my son, okay, how much money you need? So
he knows Dad's weaknesses. It sounds like here, huh? That's pretty funny.
Makes you proud, yeah.
Yeah, Dan doesn't suffer from that weakness, you know.
No. That's got to make him stronger than that.
That's right.
Make him grovel a bit. Well, I mean, what is he pursuing in college?
He's going to be architecture, like for just business, for construction, building.
Oh, like a construction engineering, like a construction engineer,
something like that. I'm not sure.
Okay,
probably for industrial something, like not for private construction, for just the huge buildings, like for example, if Boeing wants to get a new facility, that's what he was going to be the drawing in it. That's how I understand it. And he said there are two companies in America that are the best at this one. And he got hired by one, and I got another offer for another one. So this beginning of summer, I drove him to San Jose. So he got an apartment there. He got a, what is it called? When you get a job from the company that they want to hire you, but you just
Intern?
pass like 1 year.
No money pay. Yeah. You work for
He got money. No, he got money. He was getting paid.
Yeah.
Not much, but covered the whole apartment, and I think he was making $4,000 a month or something like that. So it's nice.
That's
For a student.
That's a good intern.
Yeah.
That's how I was able to visit my place where I stay when I was in America. When where I was training nearby Sacramento. So I visited those small places like Lockford, Galt, Lodi, we drove there. So I did a little seminar in Sacramento, just met people. Some Russian guy, rode me. So it was nice, got the great steak. Never knew Sacramento had a great restaurant. So in 27 years, finally got the great dinner.
Yeah, I don't think they're big meat eaters over in California. They eat grass and nuts and shrubs and things like that.
Berries.
Berries.
No, for me, California was a sunshine. It was an eye opener that America can be different, because I got enslaved by Buddy Alban, who was a manager of mine for 1 year. And I had to start from Texas. I love Texas. I love people there. I'm still friends with all those guys, Guy Metzger, Alex Andrade, and everybody else. And then I think Ken Shamrock visited Guy's Academy, and we wrestled a little bit, and he offered me to help him with the training in nearby Sacramento. And it was beautiful. It was a completely different, it was no Mexican food. I mean, I like Mexican food now, but back then I couldn't stand it, And, I got good training partners who could wrestle with me a little bit, like Frank Shamrock was a good partner. I remember him, he was keeping up for 8 minutes. I say, hey, Frank, you're going to be a world champion. You're going to be undefeated. Because I would choke and tap everybody like in 30 to 40 seconds. Those future champs like Jerry Bollender, like those bunch of guys. I mean, just, bring up the names. And Frank was best of the best. And when I took them to work in the mountains, just to run up, it was like big group behind us. And Frank and I was like mile away up there. So it was at least good training and decent food. I got my room. It was not like in Texas. I've been put in a place where nobody speak English. It was African sun, Mexican sun, and I was in the worst apartment in the building, like nearby a boiler. So you couldn't sleep. And it was a dreadful neighborhood, probably cheapest apartment in Texas. That's where I stayed for the first 6 months or so.
But you said you're being managed by Buddy Alban?
Buddy Alban, yeah. That's what his management was all about. Just Oleg, you can train at Guy Metzger's place, and here's an apartment for you. So thank you so much. I got one bed from IKEA, and I think that's it. I remember when I finally got to meet some Mexican girl. So I didn't have any sex for probably like 4 or 5 months prior to it. And then she came to my apartment. She looked at this and like, you know what? I think I gotta go home. So it was that poor. Next. But
Well,
next, after UFC 6, I came on a Grand Cherokee. At that time, it was a brand new car, all like new fashion. And I came to her bar, and she suddenly became like 2 levels below. Like, well, what happened to you? I mean, you remember it's me? It's all like, no, like, yes, boss, yes, boss. What the fuck happened to you? It was a very interesting change to me, like from down to up.
well, just for all of our viewers out there, I mean, let's establish, okay, we got Oleg that's over in Russia right now. Basically, it's early morning. What time is it in the morning for you, Oleg?
It's 6 something.
6 something. So I know you said, yeah, you said you're an early bird. I mean, that likes to get up early in the morning. I don't know if this was extra early for you, or is this normal for you? They're getting up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
I like to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning. I like to work in the yard, do some little exercises maybe, but generally just like farmers kind of work. That's my favorite one.
And then we got Don Frye. He's out in Arizona here right now.
Yeah.
Down in the service. Don, what time is it out there where you're at?
Oh hell, what time is it? It is looks like 8:40, 8:35.
Yep, in
Yeah,
evening,
yes, sir.
and
Yes.
here in the Howell, Michigan, here right now, it is 11:30 p.m. So a little past the beast's bedtime here right now. That's why it's so dark and ominous back in behind me, because I've been sequestered out to the front porch because everybody else who's civilized is inside the home, and I'm out on the front porch, doing a podcast. So, nothing but the best of
It's a very
accommodations.
Michigan style building, just on the left.
Yeah, so that's one of the wonderful things about having the technology of the internet, these Zoom type of meetings, and to be able to still get things moving forward. So Oleg, I guess early on in your life, I mean, you said that you're more of a student and then weren't really into the athletics. I guess what eventually drew you to athletics, and because you said you're more of a brainiac, you've got scientist blood running through your veins from different types of bloodlines. So what motivated you, or what drew you to athletics?
In Russia, at the school where I was going to, we had like I say, students whose fathers was doctors and academics, like basically wealthy, rich, educated, and some people are really from poor families, and those guys got on my nerve at a certain moment, and I got to just learn how to defend myself, because I was a very kind boy. So I gotta. My father just took me to the place in Russia where you could do powerlifting, boxing, and a judo. And he, of course, wanted me to do either powerlifting, either boxing, because that's what he was familiar with. But judo, like white gi, I mean, what the hell? But I've chosen judo because I don't know, I just loved it. And the coach was great. He just passed away actually on August 2nd. But his presence, his smile, just everything. He was fixing tatami when I met him. And I talked to him and I knew instantly I gotta go there. So it was a judo samba place. And then I think in 2 years, I became what you call black belt, but in Russia we didn't have those black belts. You know? It was a master of sport or a candidate of to master of sport, that kind of stuff. Yeah, and I remember I had my first street fight, and there was two gangsters, like a local, most famous, most notorious guys, two of them, pam pam, and they were on the floor. Like, what the hell happened to me? To them actually, and to me too. You know, everybody's watching it. Like, well, what happened next? They're getting up, and I became a predator. I just punched them again, and they didn't get up anymore. So, and that's how the rumors about those evil Oleg spread around the city. And then those rumors travel with me a little further. And after army, I dropped my college after a third year. It just started a business, and so my actually abilities were kind of put on hold. Maybe my capability of fighting, and then I was putting together to do some championships, trophies, just putting money in it. And then I decided to compete myself because I had a fight again with my older friend, boxer, and I lost it. I'm like, I was 23. Like, how could I lose my shape? So I started training again, adapted my ground work and wrestling work for the street fight. And I remember first time I joined the Jiu-Jitsu Irigumi Go, means a full contact trophy somewhere in Novorossiysk on the Black Sea, and I won. Then I won 4 of them. That's it. And then I won the first no rules fighting championship in Riga, Latvia. That was a crazy one. There was a really no rules. Like the first fight I saw, there was one guy was out, and another guy picked the head of the guy and started slamming the floor. Actually, I was in the circus. So there was a parapet like around it. So I was hitting the basically dead guy's head over this
Wow.
wooden. And I'm like, shit, I'm gonna compete in this crazy competition, and I was so scared. So I was so scared. I was backing up in my first fight, and the guy was just jumping on me with all punches, and I don't know, I choked him out like in a few seconds, and it was a biggest upset for the local people because he was the one monster. Everybody thought he's gonna win. Then there was another 2 fights, and that's it. I got five videos me winning in everything goes competitions. What I'm gonna do with it? Of course, I'm gonna go to Hollywood. So I'm taking this. I got the visa since I was a businessman, right? So I got the visa, going for a World Soccer Championship in LA. I missed the championship, of course, Mundial. I came on fall, but I had a visa. So I looked around. Nobody wants me to be a movie star. How come? What the fuck, you know? I gotta take a longer path. I gotta learn English. I gotta get a green card. I gotta learn how to act. So it took a few years. I remember the first agent who I met. He was agent of Michael Dudikov. I thought he was like fucking big shot. I was so nervous when I was in his office. He said, "You are the first person who doesn't speak English, doesn't have a legal paperwork to work in the United States, and who's standing in front of me, and you don't even have an acting background. I mean, what the fuck you doing here? Come back when you have one of those." So I'm calling him like 6 months after UFC number 6, I think it was. Hey, I speak English. I got the paperwork. I got the green card, and I'm joining the acting school. And it's like basically like fuck off. I don't want to hear this.
Right.
So next, when I was with the Peter Young, you know the guy. He was at the Gersh agency. Then he was. We met somewhere at some premiere. And it's like shit happens. Well, I knew you're gonna get there. That's what he said. That's it.
He just didn't want to take up his time. I want to use your time, huh?
You want to actually probably just wanted a more finished and polished product that made it a little bit easier for him. But let's go back. You said, okay, you went from doing some judo and some sambo and some of these competitions, but you said you also went into the army. Well, how old were you when you went into the military?
You have to be in the army for it. I mean, you have to serve army in Russia, in the Soviet Union. Right now, I think just for 1 year. In my time, it was 2 years. 2 year service, it's obligatory. And I supposed to be in a sport military unit. And I started nicely. Everything was great. So for maybe 2 weeks, I've been wearing military uniform, and then they let me go back to training where I was training. So, but I want to be champion. I set the highest goal for myself. So we had to sleep at the military facility and then take a bus and train where we used to train. And I thought the morning exercises is not hard enough for me. Those 20 minutes with the other soldiers, it's nothing. So what I would wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, run in the deep snow to the bus station, take a bus 30 minutes and go to the place where I normally would train and do like good 2 hours workout. And I was found by one of the assholes who are was supposed to be supervising us. Like, Oleg, what are you doing here so early? And you already sweat and you're tired. I mean, how come you guys already, I said, yeah, I mean, it was a very intense training. I'm sorry. I just, everything is fine. So he did his investigation, and I was kicked off to the regular army after that. So I had to stay in the regular army for a year and a half, basically. I got this sergeant level of military level. Yeah, and I got also a job, military job, those radars. So I got to operate with them. And well, they let me go again. I think I won a competition, the Russian like dumbbells, like the Russian giri, Russian old-fashioned. So I won the competition using those, and they let me go back again to train and try to, get the result.
Is that when you trained the KGB?
It was after army. It was not KGB. It was just special units from every single, like for example, SWAT. Yeah. Like the police had their own unit, KGB had another unit, another one, military guys had another unit. They all would come to special training facility, and they hired me to train them. But it was a little bit later when I was start fighting those competitions. Everything goes, yeah. And I got some friends, of course, in in the services, and they asked me if I can. I said, sure, of course. Why not? So, so I had a big business.
How long
It's
did
all
you do
together.
that?
Probably 3-4 years I've been doing this. I didn't get paid for it. I'm not sure if I don't think I got paid. I got a special ID so I could go anywhere. It was a like counter-terror training organization, something like that.
Yeah.
So I was an officer in this organization. So it helped me. So if you're drunk, driving a car and they stop you, sorry guys, I'm on a mission.
Pull out your card.
It worked once in the United States, only one time.
Yeah.
I was in LA and I went through a red light and police stopped me. And I didn't speak English at that time, but I was definitely not a shy guy. I say, hey, I'm an officer. I'm on a special mission. He's looking at me like, oh shit. Okay, mission is mission, but why do you not have a seatbelt? I said, sir, what if I have to shoot through the on the roof? And I went through the window on the roof, showing him how I would shoot. Of course, I didn't have any gun. He looked all this bullshit for maybe 5 minutes. I mean, he was listening to this bullshit for 5 minutes, and like, okay, just go. So it's a true story. A red light, and in the probably month and a half after I got to the United States, LA, they let me go.
So your acting career was already off to start. Is that what you're trying to say?
It started only when I finished with the UFC. I went to the Playhouse West in LA. I was 29. And all the other guys were 18, 19, even 17. They were like skinny, handsome, talented. Yeah.
No scars. No scars.
Yeah.
Pretty.
No scars, yeah.
Yeah.
One time they wanna kick me out of the school because I was doing acting exercises. So I pinched the one guy. I grabbed his neck and I just pinched him like to the door. That was kind of quick, but I was very gentle. And the guy got very upset. He peed his pants, like he really peed his pants. And the whole other students wrote a letter to a teacher how long we can study in danger to be killed by UFC champion.
Oh, jeez.
What the fuck, you guys pussies? I mean, what he did, I was a witness of this. He did what I was trying to teach you. He was right on the moment. He was very gentle. He was very professional. It was a great move. It was instinctual. It came out of as his character came out of him. So that's what I was, guys, been teaching you. So he's already great actor, and you guys are pussies. I don't want to teach you anymore. So they apologized to him, and I got like 30 phone calls on my home phone number, messages. Yeah, they were apologizing, but I was like, you know what? It's been 4 years at that time. You know, I don't want to study there anymore. I already got 2 jobs at that. I didn't tell anyone. My movies didn't come out yet. It was a movie 15 Minutes with Robert De Niro, and another film was Rollerball with Jean Reno. And I wasn't telling anyone that I already done those films. I told them, hey, I gotta go to Russia and you know, blah blah blah, because we're not allowed to act. Up to certain stage, you're not allowed to do commercials or acting job until you got you know, certain skills according to the teachers. They can tell you, oh, now you're ready. So I got 2 jobs already. Nobody told me I'm ready. Just got them.
Who's Rollerball with?
It was Chris Klein. I think he lost all his star rising. It was LL Cool J, Rebecca Remains Famous, and the bad guy was Jean Reno, and the French actor.
Well,
If you remember the guy.
I don't know.
It was an interesting film. It's a remake of a 1974 film with a James Caan.
Yeah, James Conn. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about the original one. I made a movie with James Conn, like I don't know, 15 years ago, and I insulted him, not meaning to. You know, he was like, hey Don, I like watching you fight, blah blah blah. He says, here's my card, take my number. You call me, and I get you this. I was thinking, no, James Conn he'll never answer the phone. Why I'd be embarrassed. I mean, why would I disturb him? He's a great actor, and I says, no, you call me. You take my number. You call me, and I'm insulting him. Oh my God, it's so embarrassed. But I never got to apologize to him, And
So I take it you never got the phone call?
no, never got a phone call. He never answered my phone call either, like I thought. Jeez. Yeah, great guy, but I just insulted him completely by doing that. I didn't mean to. Did not mean to.
See, now we hear some story, the skeletons.
Yeah. The stupid things you do by not being smart, when you're young in the career,
Well, now he probably hears you from up there, and he accepted your apology.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, it broke my heart when I found out he passed away because he's such a great actor. Jeez. But when we were on set, he told some stories. Heath Herring and I, we pestered him about stories about when he worked with John Wayne, in El Dorado, I think it is. And he would tell stories, and we were just like, wow, like little kids in front of the fireplace.
Yeah, I did a film, National Treasure, Nicolas Cage and some other guys.
Yeah.
And we had a party, Christmas party at the Nicolas Cage house. 200 people, all stars, but they were like, like the husband of the, what's her name? That Bruce Willis's wife. What's her name? Ex-wife.
Yeah. Demi Moore.
Demi Moore. Yeah, he was a husband of Demi Moore. That young. Anyways, that's pretty much what kind of stars would behave, like very cocky, fucking nobody. You're a star because you're married to the old lady, fucking. And there was a great guy came. He's pretty old, but behaved himself like he's 50. Moved, and he's smart. He's intelligent, and every joke, everything he says is, you just cracking up. It's his sense of humor is beyond belief. And then we instantly met. We liked each other. We walked around this party. Everybody was chasing us because everybody, like, whatever we say, people just laughing, And then when he left, I found who the guy is. Have you seen a movie, Bonnie and Clyde?
No.
Bonnie and Clyde? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the old one or the new
Old one? Yeah, that's 60 something.
Yeah. Who was that?
I think.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of his name right now. Huh? Warren Beatty. Warren Beatty, right?
Exactly. Warren Beatty, yeah. So, Oleg, you just met, you guys got along, and this is a legend, Yeah, fucking. I mean, he was the only normal guy at this party. You know, you could
Right.
have an intelligent conversation, and you could laugh. You know, he was a great guy. It's an older.
Well, he don't give a shit anymore. You know, he'd already reached that peak, you know, in Hollywood, and he didn't have to kiss ass anymore, you know, so he could be a natural guy. Where most people in Hollywood, they gotta rub somebody's balls, you know, just to get a drink.
That was very shocking to me because every time you go on the party, you see stars. I mean, according to like the foreign people, like I am at that time, you watch them on a big screen, and then you see him on a party, and they act like they are just nobodies, you know, just yeah, like the ass kissing and begging for shit. I'm like, I mean, you're a star. How can you be like this? It was very, very shocking to me at that time.
Yeah, Hollywood's a really weird, weird place. It really is.
I remember it was a party in Bel Air. It was right after September 11th, so we were just gathering money and collecting money. That was for September 11th, and I remember it was a bunch of younger guys. I didn't know anybody. Like Matt Damon, I didn't know anybody. Those guys. I mean, I didn't. There was who else? There was like 40 of those. I only knew Samuel Jackson, and everybody else was like Eddie Burns. That's it. Everybody else became stars after it, but it was like 40, and they're all listening. They're all asking me, listening the stories about UFCs. That's all they care about.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk about the film business. And when Michael Jackson came on the Lima, I think it was maybe 8-6 girls taking picture with him, but nobody came to him like just by himself. All the boys wants to listen to UFC stories.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it was so controversial at that time period. I mean, it was, you know, people were trying to ban it. People were trying to do all kinds of things. I mean, it was almost like taboo. You had people like Senator John McCain that was trying to do away with it. Certain states would not allow it. You know.
Yeah. John McCain's a piece of shit by far. You know, I remember when I went to UFC 9. When I'm fighting UFC 9 in Detroit, you know, they called me up, asked me if I would do an interview for the French people, French magazine. I said, yeah, send them up. And they says, man, we're so glad you would talk to us. Nobody would talk to us, you know. And this is really, well, what do the people in France think about the fight? They think, oh, we think you guys are monsters, you know. They were scared to death.
We were popular monsters, I gotta say. Like in Japan, especially when you get chased by a few thousand people, I mean, that you know that you're not like really a monster, I guess.
Yeah.
I remember when I got my first car, I'm driving the car, and like 7 out of 10 cars just honking you. They recognize you through the window.
Yeah.
It was crazy that I don't know how big the modern stars. I mean, what I can see that they very quickly get forgotten. But in our case, I think we stay for, I don't know, good 10, 15, even 20 years on the top.
Right.
It was not a bad.
No, we all had a good run. We had a good run, you know.
Yeah, in 2003, it was 10 most popular fighters. We were in some casino, I think on the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
2003, we got awarded like the 10 most popular fighters or something.
Right.
Remember, you were teaching me how to drink vodka with the Vicodin.
With the what?
Vicodin, Vicodin.
Oh, Vicodin. Oh,
Because
yeah.
You did the wrestling at that time, and I guess you were in pain all the time.
Yeah.
You know, you're always on the road, and that's how you would fight those.
Yeah, you get the Vicodin and the booze, and you become bulletproof, and you start doing stuff that you should be sitting out, you know, and recuperating from, you know, and
I remember we were dancing with the black girls in the club that night. I think you and I think all the girls were black with the big ass.
yeah.
And there was no white people there. You and I only dancing hip hop. It was actually in Michigan somewhere.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, it was Battle Creek, Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Battle Creek.
Well, maybe.
Or
Maybe.
is that the show that Kit Likens put on? Yeah,
I mixed
okay.
all together, I think.
Oh, it's all right. I mean, no. Again, now when you say that with the Kit Likens, that was a 3-ring circus with a side freak show. That whole event. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do remember the dance because we couldn't stop. We danced all night, and I'm like, shit, it works well. It was the Vicodin, vodka, and maybe Red Bull. I'm not sure. One was popular at that time.
yeah, vodka and Red Bull were really popular. Yeah.
Yeah, just the funniest stuff. I think it was Frank Shamrock there, and the rest, like I said, just big girls with big ass, and us. That's it, all night long.
Well, you got better memory than I do, boy. There's a lot of things I try to forget in my life, you know. How'd you get to be Nikolai and the Predators or Predator the movie?
Just the casting. I remember I did some horrible show in Russia, and I came in late August just to get my kids to school.
Yeah.
And my friend called me, "Hey, Oleg, why don't you go? You know, there's a casting for film Predator. There is Russian part." I said, "Why don't you go there?" I mean, I already went. There was like a bunch of Russians there. I said, "Okay, I'll go." And of course, I read the script, and it was easy for me. I did some improvisation, and I guess Robert Rodriguez loved it because I was a first person who been casted, even before Danny Trejo or anybody else. So I was number one. I didn't know anything about it. I was in Russia. I was ready for the horrible fall, doing some horrible show, something I didn't like, and suddenly I got like, "Hey, Oleg, you flying to Hawaii on August 5th. I still remember. You flying through, flying to Honolulu through Seoul, and then another stop, and then you go to Big Island." And like my first question, why the hell I have to go through Honolulu? San Francisco is much quicker. I guess you know, the tickets were purchased in Texas, I guess, because you know that's where studio was Robert Rodriguez located. And Texas people, they think the world is like flat, and the center of the world is Texas. So they didn't know anything about it.
Cultural center of the universe, Texas. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm flying there first class. I was the only person in the first class in the area Korea, and I'm trying to scratch my butt, and like I'm searching for my butt, and like, "Do you need any help?" I said, "No, thank you.
I got it."
Then the second time I want to scratch my butt, like, "Oh, well, no. Can we help you?" And the two Korean ladies, like pretty. I said, no, I'm okay. Like, yeah, I just want to scratch my butt. We can help you. I said, no, fucking no. Thank you so much.
What airlines was that? That's quite a bit of service.
Air Korea, first class. You gotta fly first class to Air Korea. So I was flying to Honolulu. One person in the first class. It was quite amazing. two guys won an Oscars from my fellow actors on the film. Walton, I think, Mahershala Hashbaz Ali, I still remember his name, the black guy, and I think Walton Goggins or something. Who else? Of course, Adrian Brody, he was already having an Oscar. So we was like 6 of us, I think. That's it. 4 years on the Predators. So 4 months shooting Predators. So it was a great experience. And the guy who told me, Oleg, why don't you go for an audition? 1 year before, I was in Spielberg's office, and there was a casting for film Indiana Jones, and I already passed the casting. And I'm reading the original script. Yeah, you are not allowed to read the script, because the screenwriters usually sue the company, sue the Spielberg. So they usually give another script for you to read, to do the audition, and then in the office you get the chance to read the original script. So I'm reading the script, and I don't like it, And I'm saying, Steven, you know what? I don't think I wanna do this part. I mean, I have a friend, he could be perfect for it, but I rather do Saving Private Ryan 2 for no money. But this is something I don't think I'm good for, because the fucking eating by the ends, being punched by Harrison Ford. I'm like, shit, what the fuck is that? Like it's not what I've been dreaming about. And this guy got the part. And the only thing I was jealous of, that they shot the film in Hawaii. Here, 1 month later, I'm playing a hero in a similar, big film. And again, they shoot in Hawaii, and they stay in the same hotel, same amount of time. Of course, money was much less, but it's okay. But well, at least I'm proud of my role. It's the first time Russian was a hero in an American film, box office.
What was the name of the movie?
The Predators. That's the one you asked me.
Yeah, I thought you said Saving Private Ryan too. You got me.
No, I would. I told him, I would play in the Saving Private Ryan 2, the second one, if you do one for free, instead of doing the Indiana Jones, the last Indiana Jones.
Right.
So I didn't like the role. So it was very stupid of me, but we do stupid things sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
Even saying no to Spielberg.
Yeah. What would you have done if what would you done if Will Smith slapped you in the face during the filming the Bad Boys 2?
I would probably do the bobbing and weaving and punch him in the liver. I did the film with him, Bad Boys 2.
Yeah.
But I liked Martin Lawrence's personality much more, because he was more natural. Will Smith was just like in the film, like he's acting when you meet him in everyday life. So it feels like he's just baloney. And Martin Lawrence was great. I mean, I liked the guy, and I liked all the other guys who were in the film. I call them Cuban crime. Yeah. They would always drink at the same place, and I say, hey guys, put me some rum. What are you guys drinking? They always drink rum. Smoke cigar, drink rum. They're like most of those guys were really Cubans in the film. Bad Boys 2, if you remember the film. It was it came out 2002.
Was money good?
Money was okay, because I had a smaller part, but the residuals were great.
Yeah.
I still get money for some films.
Yeah, I haven't got
Sometimes,
residuals. I haven't got residuals for years, you know, but it used to be nice to go to your mailbox and have a check there for you from, 3 years ago or something like that.
yeah, because there was a strike, some actors, the union want to get the money for internet or something. So eventually, the producers start making films without union actors. So they went again for talk. They lower the percent for the actors
Yeah, right.
from the previous films. And before you could get, some people would get 200,000 checks. Like my biggest checks were like 29,000 for rollerball and I think 31 for 15 minutes, and maybe something else. I'm not sure, but altogether it was still great. And within a year, you could get a couple hundred, even more, those checks. And now, not even 20,000 after that strike. They changed all this around about residuals.
Yeah.
So now,
I
yeah,
was a
once
member.
you
I was
get
a member of.
greedy,
What's that?
yeah, once you get too greedy, you get nothing.
Yeah. I was a member of SAG for like 10 or 12 years, and then I had that stroke in 2016. And so I didn't work for a couple of years and they dropped me like a bad habit, after, paying paying dues for 12 years, boom, you don't qualify, you're gone.
but at least you had a Screen Actors Guild insurance, probably medical. So
I
it
did
covered, no?
up until I didn't qualify. You see, that's what I'm saying. I didn't qualify because of the stroke, then they got rid of me. But
that's what.
yeah, but they paid for it up to that point, so I can't
That's
no
very
reason
nice.
to bitch, At least they paid for the surgery and all that on the stroke. So
Yes, yeah.
and you can't
But
have
now it's-
everything. Can't have everything, no place to put it, right?
Yeah. But now you're able to ride your horses, right? That's what I hear all the time. Like, oh, now I can ride my horse again. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
You're still riding horses, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love my
You
horse.
like you are. I sold my horse because it's too expensive to keep the horse here. So
It's stupid what's going on in the world with the prices of everything. The inflation is going crazy. It's just the political rich are just trying to starve everybody else out, and to tell you what, that's why they're afraid. That's why they want to get rid of the Second Amendment, because you got guns. You can defend yourself. You can change the bullshit going on at the top, and most of the people at the top are cowards, and they have the people in the middle and at the lower end do the job for them, and
not just the cowards. Usually they either gay or child molesters or something like
yeah,
that.
fucking pedophiles.
That's what
Yeah,
story tells us. Once somebody passed away, then you hear, oh fuck, this politician was a gay. Oh shit, this politician was a child molester. So you're like, fuck,
right.
well, nice to hear.
Yeah,
So those guys are making law for you. Like, okay, I understand. Thanks so much.
yeah, fucking pedophiles are garbage.
Yeah.
Pedophiles need to be killed because there's no cure for that bullshit. So they need to be taken out and whacked, shot right in town square in front of everybody. Because there's no cure for that shit. They repeat, completely.
My life is much more simple. Like 9 o'clock, I'm gonna play soccer. It's only 7:15 right now. 9 a.m. I'm gonna play soccer for 2 hours. It's only it's like my cigar, like my drink.
Yeah.
That's what I enjoy it. in my city. I got the team, and I got team in Moscow. I got team even in Belarus. I got team in LA. Sunday, Saturday for past 20 years, maybe less. I play soccer, so Russian football. So, and
Yeah,
after
so
we go to beer, and feels like okay, it's a wonderful day. That's my hobby. That's what I've been doing for pretty long. I'm like, hey, now I'm not. I don't have a fear to twist my ligaments, to hurt my knees. Now I can try to learn how to play soccer, and I started doing it almost professionally. Like I would train 3 times a day. I would take special lessons and stuff. Now I'm okay. I can actually join any team. I see the field. I can do passes and not so much dribbling, but I score. Like last time, I scored a bunch of goals. So, and the best thing when there's a fighting on the field,
yeah.
it never happens to me. Never.
They all walk away from you, huh?
Nobody wants to, fuck around with me. That's a beauty. Nobody wants to hit me from behind.
Is it league for just for fun, or was it league or just for fun?
Just fun, yeah. I played semi-pro like 15 years ago, but it was pretty scary.
What position do you play?
Half deep on the right side.
Yeah.
I don't get tired when I run. Used to be. Now I can't run. Now I walk. That's why I score now. I'm a scorer. More score.
Sneak up behind somebody, choke them out, and take the
I
ball.
did that. I choked couple guys, and my teammates still remember it. That's another reason why I don't want nobody really fighting with me. I can punch them because you get soup and shit. You just you hug him.
Yeah.
Like you look in the eyes and you start choking them, and like he feels like, what am I gonna happen if Oleg doesn't stop? You see the fear in the eyes, and you let him go, and you never get the problem with that.
You don't play well with others, then.
My wife.
Oh.
I'm gonna get a brainstorm today. I waking her up. It's okay.
You're in trouble.
How long have you been married there, Oleg?
Well, I've been always living with someone. Unfortunately, I can't live by myself.
Yeah.
Don't want to go much to the story because they're all different. Like every my son has a different mother. I say every your son, if it's male, gotta have a own mother, because sons, they can't share mothers. They can share fathers. That's okay. Like they'll love me, but father is father. But mother is gotta be. You gotta have your own mother. That's what I say. You get all love from one woman, because I got so much love. I can spread this my love, and you have enough. 3 of you.
Well, apparently my ex-wife had the same theory. She spread it around with a lot of others. So all kinds of people. Jeez.
Well, what kind of projects do you have coming up there, Oleg? I mean, what's next on your horizon? Is there some movies that are coming up on your horizon now, or you got some travel, or what's?
I hope I do. Then the Thieves second one in November. I hope it's been scheduled to shoot in November. Actually, it's been scheduled to shoot this summer, but because of the crisis, they're supposed to shoot in Belgrade, so they had to move. And I do some movies here in Russia, but for Screen Actors Guild for insurance, you have to do at least one film in the United States, and it's like obligatory. I have to always think about what I'm going to do. During the COVID, I was lucky. I got some work. It was a man from Toronto, for example. You stay for 2 weeks at a quarantine in an apartment. You get paid for it. It was nice. So it was I think the only film I did that year.
Well,
I was like, oh shit, I'm not gonna have insurance.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not gonna have enough money for insurance.
let's go back to the fight game real fast. What was it like
Yeah.
fighting the beast, Dan Severn? Because I was in his corner, but as I recall, he cheated, and you should have won the fight. But Dan he laced his gloves with the same thing that oh geez, those other boxers would lace their gloves with to make you tired, and they smother you out, and so
Chloroform?
Yeah, chloroform. See, oh, look at that. He knew the name right away. Jeez. Right there.
The first ultimate, I got more tired being checked up by 2 doctors. After a fight with Mark Roers, I had 12 minutes to get myself ready, and I got 2 doctors checking my health, like get up, jump, do this, do that. I'm like, guys, you know what? I'm already tired from you more than from previous fight. And anyways, that was a great lesson for me, and I always tell people at the seminars. Dan knows I got his leg doing the knee bar.
Yes.
And if I didn't start change the grip, if I just continue doing what I was doing, maybe I would have a little chance to finish. But I decided, I gotta break the same knee that got me cut on my forehead in UFC number 5. I was, young, and you don't give enough extra pain to person. Especially, you got to make money for your family. It's your business. You don't hurt people. You don't do unnecessary pain. So it was a good lesson to me. It was like a universal lesson. You just, you should just tap person out, say thank you so much, get checks and go. But for me, it was very important. I got to break the same knee, not another one, but in the same one. It's a youth was telling me all the stupidity. So there was that too much pride, I guess.
Well, Dan was smart enough to know what pain was. He would just keep going.
I did tap up different matches. I mean, when I was caught, because I did not want to. Maybe it's because I was a little bit older at the time, going through competition.
Smart, yes. Strategically, you knew you shouldn't do too much, just enough. It's a business, so you got to make money, and so.
Right.
If I was a little older, I probably would do the same. But I was 27, I think, at that time, or 28. So I just want to get maximum. I gotta get the whole world, not just win the fight. So that was a great lesson. And after UFC, I kept fighting for maybe 2 years. Once in a while, just get extra money, but it was a shitty game, I gotta tell you. One time we were fighting Russians against Brazilians. They built up teams, and they hired a manager for some fighter who was not a fighter actually. He was a soldier who served in Afghanistan. He got the concussions. He was in a prison and jail. He basically put himself in pieces a few years ago, and he was joining our team. So I had some very strange manager from Miami, I remember, and he was very friendly, overly friendly. Like, hey guys, let's have a Russian tradition, and he was Jewish. Let's have a Russian tradition. Drink tea before the fight. So the whole team was drinking tea, like a couple hours, and then everybody came to me. Oh, look, I feel like I want to sleep. I feel like I'm just crash here on the mat. And I said, guys, don't worry about it. It's always like this, because I was basically the only one experienced guy in the team. They all coming to me and like, everything is okay. And I see him. I feel the same at the time. Like, oh shit, what's wrong with me? Like, you dizzy? So they put the sleeping pills or something in this tea, poisoned the whole fucking team, and all those guys were, some of them they were taxi drivers, some of them masseuses, some of them they were lawyers. So none of them ever competed. They did sambo in the past, maybe for one day, but most of those guys were not really fighters. Only me, actually. So that's what kind of game I had to experience. Or in Japan, for example. So I'm having a dinner with Antonio Inoki, and a Pancration found about that I had a dinner. So they thought Antonio Inoki already bought me out. I said, and that was not true. I didn't tell him yes. The next thing, you get in for ankle lock, they just referee stopped the fight like 5 minutes earlier, not letting you finish the guy. Like, shit, what the fuck is it? You know what? I don't want to be there. I don't want to participate in this business, dirty business. At least UFC was pretty honest. It was.
Yeah, Bob Meyerowitz, or Davies, they were honest. They took good care of me when Coleman beat the shit on me. They took care of my big medical bills and all that.
I still talk to them. It's not Bob Meyerowitz. I mean, he really loves to sometimes to get the, email, text, whatever. He likes to help. In fact, if I ask him to talk to some Russian media, say, because we got some new guy here in Russia from the Caucasian mountains. They were saying like, "Hey, Oleg is not the first champion, like from Russia." What the fuck? Just all crazy stuff, And they call Bob Myers to clarify this. I said, "Well, I was out of your mind. You can, this gentleman is good. He's a champ, but when you're trying to award him, don't put Oleg down. He was 23 years prior to this guy. If it was not for Oleg, maybe this guy would never
right, never left town, right? Yeah. Wouldn't know anything about it. Yeah, the shit we went through, was unbelievable. I mean, nobody would do it today. Nobody
right now.
No,
it's unhuman. They say it's unhuman. Fight no gloves.
What would you give? What kind of advice would you give to, like, say, a young athlete if they came to you now, Oleg, and they said, I'd like to get into mixed martial arts? What kind of advice would you give to a young athlete like now? I mean,
don't get married.
Don't get married. Yeah.
Well, that's to everybody about any occupation, and make sure you get a prenup on top of that.
Get a prenup.
No, then think about it. If guys like 26 or 30 and he never competed and like, I want to get in this game, I said, no, you don't need that. I wouldn't say you're too old for it. You have to. It's a mentally have to be ready for it. I mean, you gotta be created by universe for the fighting. It's a whole different story. You gotta have a previous life, young age. First of all, I mean, right now you gotta start doing MMA at the age, I would say 13, 14 already. You gotta start.
I agree.
Or wrestling as a fundamental, and wrestling or judo as a basis.
Yeah, judo, sambo, jiu-jitsu, all those types of things earlier in life, because I think
I still think that we're much better in what field. Like you knew wrestling better than any wrestlers right now.
Right.
In my case, of course, the only struggle I had is I couldn't. It was no gi. I couldn't grab the naked person. I didn't learn anything. I had to learn it only when I came to the United States, training with Ken Shamrock. That's only like 3 months of preparation with no gi fighting. But I knew all the submissions, I knew all the other technique, and I knew it very well. If some guy did striking, he really has a knockout power, and if you let him know how to defend himself on the ground from grappling, from takedowns, maybe, But I still think about like you, then Randy Couture, the great wrestlers, and there would be no stoppage, for example. Again, like you gotta go for 30 minutes. I don't think you guys would lose anybody. I mean, if you, of course, bring you back at your prime to this day.
Right.
I don't think so. And I don't think those guys could fight for 30 minutes nonstop either.
Right.
It's
like
training.
Pride, they had the 10-5-5. That first round was 10 minutes. That was a barn burner, And I mean, now they go 5-5-5 or 5-5-5-5-5, But that 5 minute would save them, give them a minute break. But in that 10-minute that was a barn burner. And then back when we were fighting, there was no limit. It would just go. There was no rounds.
You gotta
go.
do strategy. You gotta not to waste your energy at the beginning. You gotta pace yourself. Plus, when you have 3 fights, you don't give all yourself in the first 2 fights. So it's also another strategy, but you still have to win, not to waste yourself, but win. It's a difficult game. I don't think many modern fighters can participate in this game because they train for one fight. They knew 5 minutes. That's all they have to go. I mean, then break another 5 minutes and then see third round. They already passed out.
Yeah.
Only few fights.
Yeah, most of them aren't even. Some of these guys, they can't get out of the first fucking round. For a championship fight, they're worn out in the first 5 minutes. It's like, what the fuck is the deal with you guys? You're supposed to go 25 minutes, and you can't even get out of the first round. What are you thinking?
But just like what Oleg is saying, there also that when you know that a match is unlimited, and if someone got a dominant position on you, knowing that there is no standing up, you have to work out from underneath that bottom position. Right. And because Big John or whoever the referee is not going to stop this match, because back then you had to work for everything. It was simply unlimited. During that NHB, the no holds barred era, it was unlimited time. The average match during that NHB period of time was 2 minutes and 22 seconds, a very bloody and violent 2 minutes and 22 seconds. So, to see matches go beyond a 5 minute mark were almost like unheard of at that point. And then, they had, but the UFC had to eventually put time constraints because it's still a television product. It's a pay-per-view product. And if it goes off the air, the corporation is going to lose money on that. So that's where timetables had to be put in. More rules had to come in again to pacify various state athletic commissioners and that. But no, I agree with both you are saying there tonight, that if you look at modern day MMA and you look at the predecessor, that no holds barred era, more people would rather watch the No Holds Barred era because it just showed gritty individuals versus I could play the time because, Oleg could have a position on me and my corner could yell out, hang in there, Dan, there's 30 more seconds. And somehow I'll try to hang on and then till the clock runs out. But now Oleg goes back to his corner. I go back to my corner. I get 1 minute to get all freshened up, stuff like that. But where does the match start again? It starts on your feet to where, once you have a position advantage, you just impose your will upon another person. Eventually, you're going to break their will. Or
Right.
It sucks. It sucks to be the hammer and the anvil. Everyone, I'd rather be the hammer any day and not the anvil. So yes.
Oh, like the late Paul Varnon said, he was really happy because when he fought Marco Huas, he kept it until nobody could see the end of the fight. They went past the time constraints on the pay-per-view, and he said that was the happiest thing I did. I cost them money,
Yeah, and right now you see the guys and they're all like twin brothers. They're all in the same speedo, same shorts,
right,
same technique. I mean, they're all okay. Like maybe they get a grade B for a striking, for a ground, for wrestling, but you're very rare to see A. Like you guys have been A in the wrestling, maybe B in the boxing, and maybe some B minus in the exhibitions.
Right.
But at least you are A in something, and I was maybe A in exhibitions. And maybe C in a striking, but at least you had somebody with the unique skills, the top skills.
Right.
Right now they're all okay in everything. Okay in everything, but not great in anything.
No, they're all
That's what I'm saying. So,
they're C level,
of course,
B level. But the champions A level.
No, some exceptions here. There are some exceptions here, but
right.
But only the top guys. But normally it's all exactly what you said. The C. And condition wise, it's even worse.
Yeah. You can't believe the conditioning of these guys. It's like, what the fuck are you thinking? You have to fight for 20, for 15, 25 minutes, and you can't get out of the first round. What the hell are you thinking? I would fire the whole club, the trainer and the conditioner and the nutrition guy, and give me new sparring partners, and then they should beat you on the way you're out the door.
Don, you had a nutritionist?
No, I didn't have a nutritionist.
That's a good joke.
It was called Coors banquet beer. and a big steak.
I was at a UFC show in June. Just I was in the corner of a couple guys, Alex Volkov and the new guy, Reina Fakhridinov. And they asked me, what you think about UFC, the changes? I said, it's like a fucking space shuttle. So you get once you finish, you got to wait in, and you get special drinks to recover from if you have to lose some weight. You have special food, you have special this, you have special that. Like everybody's watching for you, like 3 doctors. It's amazing. It's the training facility, that everything is just so comfortable.
Yeah, I don't see how they make any money, because I know when I was fighting, I didn't make any damn money, and I didn't have the nutritionist, the massage guy, woman, and this this thing and this thing and this thing. I had my sparring partners and my trainer, you know, and then once I paid them, you know, there wasn't much to live off of.
Well, the purses were also a lot smaller at that point in time as well. I mean, you got to look at the time, you made the most money at the time, but then things kept escalating as time progressed on. And just like you said to Don, I mean, if you're only going to do one big match once every 3-4 months, a big event. I mean, you know, I always tell people I was a thousandaire. I wasn't no millionaire. I was a thousandaire. I made $1,000, but whoop-de-doo-dah.
Yeah. But you were lucky you hung on to your money. You were smart.
Half fanny pack will travel.
Mhm.
He probably kept the same wife to
Yeah.
help him to save the money. When you do it by yourself, it usually just blows away.
Yeah. Or the wife puts it in her pocket. Yeah. Until
Yeah,
you're broke.
most likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Oleg, other than doing movies here right now, I mean, do you still do any kind of like training regiments with folks? Do you do speaking engagements? I mean, if someone watches this podcast and they're interested in getting in touch with you, do you have like a website or an agent or something that they can go through to get in contact with you for who knows, a movie, a speaking engagement, a seminar?
Instagram page. I mean, it's easy to find me. You know, you put Oleg and you get Oleg Taktarov official right away. So, and I every time I do film, if I make some money, I do a seminar, and I always like if the host can pay certain amount, I still do it. Just it's like a giving back to the community, I call it. Just you made the money of the film business, you gotta give something back.
Yeah.
What you know, what you're knowledgeable, what your knowledge is.
Yeah.
Really. Because till this day, I haven't met a person who knew 20% what I know.
Right.
When it comes to ground game, especially leg locks. It's most of the shit is incorrectly, and you know they like to do some kill hooks, but it's too violent. It doesn't consist many knowledges. It's just a hold there and pull there. That's it. You know, but I'm not a violent person. I like to, you know, take care of my my fellow fighters. They still need to feed families. You still can tap them out, but in much nicer way without, you know, damaging the knees or some food.
You tap them out with pain instead of injury. Yeah.
Yes, so it's sort of injury. Yeah. So, you know, by the way, when I train, yeah, sometimes I do ground fighting and just wrestling and even boxing. By the way, I started doing boxing after the UFC. I joined Freddie Rowe gym, and I did the boxing for almost 3 years after UFC. By the way, and
Kind of late on it. A little late on that, wasn't it?
It was fun. You know, it was fun. It was a good. It was good for movies. You know, your body, you get smaller waist. Just you know, you get skinnier. It's a new activity. You lose weight. So boxing was a good thing for me actually. But ground, I still haven't lost to anyone. Not a Brazilians, not a new Russians. They're big, strong, they can dominate, but I still didn't lose to anyone. When I come to train, one day I'm okay. Second day I tap everybody out. If it's just a normal facility, just with no champions.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. So I gotta share those knowledges, and it's a good thing. It's a universal thing. If you know something, you have to share. So I always do it, and usually I ask if you can pay $3,000, pay $3,000. If you can pay more, pay more. But if you can pay, collect, whatever you can, even 500, I'll still do it. Because, maybe you have, some poor kids. Maybe you were in places where nobody really, your parents don't make any money, but the kids really want to do MMA, and I say, why not?
Right.
For me, it's
Give back to what you want for giving. Yeah.
yeah. I trained for free when I was young. In Soviet Union, everything was for free. I think in the United States it was something back then. At least college wrestling. I don't think you guys paid to your coaches.
We paid
Yeah.
physically, boy. We paid physically. We're still paying. Yeah, we're still paying to this day. There's no free fucking breakfast, man.
And in Russia, I've been doing film festival for 4 years. And now I'm probably going to do another one, but it's different format. But, even have my federation, MMA federation here, but it's kind of bullshit here. You have to always be in fighting with the other federations. So I don't like that. I like to be work together. Like we got the Fedor Emelianenko, he has his own federation. I got my own federation, and media tried to make us look like we are fighting against each other. My past 4 years, media did some crazy shit. For me, I never been insulted in my life until like 3 or 4 years ago when we got the Caucasian guys from Caucasian mountains coming to this game. Fuck. I never had any problems, any disagreement with those guys, and some guys we never even met. But media does some crazy stuff. Like I was on the cover of some beer company, on the cover of the bottle, like some beer with my face on it. Was I making good money? So what, But one of the kind of fighter, he just lost, by the way, on my birthday. He got knocked out. In fact, he filming a video that he put in leg on my face on this bottle. Actually, it was on a can, and smashing it with a leg. So wow, what a great great story. I'm fucking over 50, and I have to watch all this. Yeah, or somebody insults your mother, your father who passed away, and I'm like, oh shit. And you guys, can you come to my face and say this? But on the internet,
everybody's brave. Yeah, everybody's brave on the internet. They're all 10 foot tall and
I used to take it very close to, but now I don't give a fuck. I'm just blocking. I don't watch it. But used to, I'm like, guys, if you have any problem with me, just come to like this city, and I give you an opportunity to fight with me in a room, in a dark room.
Right.
But only one person can leave this room. If you sign this agreement, so you have no problem with the leaving, like the winner can leave the room, and another person might gonna ever just stay there. And nobody wants to fuck around this way.
Right.
But on the internet, no problem. At our time, I don't remember any trash talking, any insulting. I don't remember that. There was something that just to bring the expectations, to raise this, like the TRTs, Ken Shamrock, I remember. I think they were the first one in MMA who were like acting like they hate each other, and they were pretty personal in this
Who's that?
promotion. The Tito Ortiz and Ken Shamrock, I think they were first who were kind of started this game.
Tank Abbott used to mouth off a lot, you know, even after he got his ass kicked, because he got his ass kicked, you know, 50% of the time, and he'd still mouth off.
Tank was a nice teddy bear. I love Tank. Too bad he got his physical problems right now, so he's completely different guy. I remember after I beat him, I'm in a hotel walking past, I guess it was Tank's room, and there was maybe 20 bikers, his friends, standing there, like all big fat guys. Yeah. And nobody say anything, you know, they just say, "Hey, Oleg, how are you?" They were very nice to me. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I put Tank in 2 of my shows, by the way. I, helped him a little bit to make some money. So we did some show in Russia.
What is there a certain type of character you like playing there, Oleg? I mean, if you get like different type of active roles, are there roles that you really like to play? Like for example, in professional wrestling, there's the baby face, the good guy, or there's the heel, the bad guy. In movies, do you
play any roles? I played any roles except homosexuals.
Right.
That's it.
Right. A homo, a pedophile, or somebody, a traitor. I'm not a traitor either. Well, I won't betray anybody, or a coward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't do that bullshit.
You got that crazy eye there, Don.
Well,
nobody ever gonna ask you to play coward. You know what?
You gotta have restrictions. You gotta have limits and restrictions.
It's nobody gonna buy this.
No.
Don cowards, but in bad acting.
Yeah, I'm not that good of an actor. Can't pull it off.
But UFC suddenly been nice to me. Like I say, I was in a corner man for a couple of guys, and they did documentary. I even got paid for this documentary. But they were shooting for 2 days while I was
How much did they pay
some World War.
How much did they?
Not much.
Yeah.
I show you my broken finger. Not much.
Yeah.
But still pay me a little bit. Yeah, so it's nice. And that documentary gonna came out. So I'd like to help. My Russian fighters not to make mistakes. Like for example, my favorite fighter Peter Young. If I was in his corner, he would never lose. Alex Volkov. If I was in his corner when he would lose, or when he lost all some of his fights, he would never lose because I would not make him. I would not let him do mistakes he did. And
right.
It's one of those things. So because I somehow I just know, like you are. Yeah, I just know. I just know with the mental. You look at the guys. You already know what's going to happen in the fight, and I haven't made a single mistake in this vision, in this, like people say, just guessing. I don't guess, I just know. It's been 20 years, maybe more. I look at the guys and say, this guy's going to win, and that's how he's going to win. And what this guy need to do to get stronger, like he got mental problems. If you work on those mental problems, this guy gonna win anybody.
Yeah.
And this guy should change it, the coach. This guy should change the fucking manager because he's not doing the right stuff, wrong matchmaking and stuff like that. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, you got agents, managers, trainers who can take you to a certain level, and then you've got, for your own benefit and for your own career, you've got to change them at this and go with somebody else because they won't advance you any further.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, just been in the game for so long, since I started competing since age 10 or 11, probably like then and like everybody else. So you just knew it. If you say too much, you got more chances to lose the fight.
Right.
If you brag too much, if you fight, let's say you travel to Japan and you fight on a third or fourth day after you arrive, you might gonna lose also because you just
Jet lag.
it's jet lag maybe in the sixth day, and a lot of people don't know this. Sex, you should stay away from women at least for 1 month if you really want to win.
I don't believe that.
I do believe this. I was raped numerous by numerous of Brazilian women in Brazil, and every time I would to the 2 fights I lost, it was right after Brazil. So I would fly to another continent and fight in a week, and I lose because you have 8 girls with you for 2 weeks in your room. I mean, of course you're gonna lose.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's something.
It's a story I can share next time.
Yeah.
When I be in United States, maybe I will go to Arizona so we can sit and there will be more.
More in depth. Yeah.
Maybe I will tell all the Brazilian stories, and it's good to know for the younger guys.
Okay. Question though, out of your 3 sons, are any of them any of your sons do they have a Brazilian mother?
No, none of them.
Oh,
for
again,
sure.
the reason I asked that, because you said you had.
Or maybe I don't know.
Oh, okay. Because it sounds like you're getting in a lot of guard work right there with these females right there. So I don't know. It's
Brazilian women are so tough. The competition among them is on such a high level. Brazilian men are pussies compared to Brazilian women. That's what I learned. So if you want to
tell that by the champions that they have running around now.
very well played there, Mr. Frye. Well played.
Brazilian woman is if you married Brazilian woman, it's like welcome to hell. You just don't know about it, but just wait.
Well, I think on that note, we'll bring a close to this. Oleg, you've been a real delight there to speak to here this evening. Mr. Frye and myself have enjoyed it very much. We'd like to probably have you on there somewhere again down the road, and we'll keep the stories going. So this concludes another episode of Toxic Masculinity. Hopefully we did not offend too many people here, because we're just three old white guys here just talking about things, even though we're from different countries. But we're talking about masculine type things. We're talking about fighting here tonight. We're talking about acting careers. We've talked about we've talked a great deal to Oleg Taktarov from his early childhood, being in the military,
and the Caucasian mountain
background. And so let's once again, Oleg, we appreciate having you on tonight with Toxic Masculinity.
Thank you,
sir.
Thanks, Dan. And so next time, like I said, it's going to be in Arizona, and we're going to concentrate on women from around the world. Which one helps you for your fighting game? Which one don't?
That would be a very toxic episode, I do believe. Yes.
Yeah. And
Very
how many
good.
of them you can have, and how many days before you fight? So we should talk about it.
Mathematical.
Fighters need to know about it.
Very good. Oleg, thank you once again. You have a good morning. I am going to sleep now. All
Good
right.
night. Yeah, I'm gonna play
Take care.
soccer.
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
gonna win
Yeah.
today.
2
I'm
hours
gonna
for
win
soccer.
today.
Oof.
Cheers.
Very
Good
good.
night.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for watching another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity. You better like, subscribe, and share, or I'm going to come to your house.